today?
Okay, it says we're live. And what I wanted to do, I always say I want to share some music or just have something playing in the background. And let me see if I can get to something real fast while we're waiting. Oh, 6 minutes late.
It be that
That's
way,
my fault. But
when
you
you
know
have
what?
stuff.
I did my best to not just even cancel, like, because I just be
Yeah,
wanting
it's been one of them.
I just be wanting I'm just gonna be some little music. I just be one. Hi y'all. Hey, I'm late. It's my
Oh shoot!
fault.
What did
I'm
I
so
do?
sorry. I should have said that I was running behind. I'm a little late, but I love y'all. Hey. Oh, that's you. I can hear me. Why can I can hear me?
I'm stupid. I'm trying to share it.
Oh, listen, we're trying to
This is.
share.
Can you still? I'm stupid. I'm trying to share it. Okay, let
I'm
me not do
trying
it that way. Let me do it on my phone.
let
What
me
the
see.
devil?
Hi. Hi guys. Let me see if I can share it. Something going on. I don't know. I tried to play y'all. First of all, please bear with me because today is the day I try to play y'all some music. It done went out. We trying to share this stuff. Oh my goodness.
It
I just
happens. It
need to
happens.
sorry. Oh Lord, it's been a day, and y'all know if I put my glasses on, that mean I'm tired. I'm beyond tired. Like that means
Uh,
it's been a day. Hey guys, how are y'all?
hello,
How
hello.
are you feeling? We're here. We're back.
We're
Um,
back and we're here.
and we're here. Last week we left off at commitments. I think someone was talking about like, you know, commitments and something else, and we kind of wanted to pick up where we left off from there and hopefully get to some of the questions that we have. And all of that. I got my glasses on because listen, I'm struggling tonight, y'all. So y'all okay, so um
And
before
you're
we
still beautiful.
you're beautiful. Thank you. Um so before we get started, y'all know we gotta hit the little intro. Let's do that real fast, okay? Let's go.
Hit the intro.
Okay, you guys, we're back. For real, for real. Okay, so we're gonna just jump right into this because I always like to. I don't be liking to waste too much of time. Um, and like I said, last week we left off at commitment. Everyone was talking about like if it's a commitment that you made, um, then you just kind of stick to the commitment that you made. But speaking of that, before we get into that, and I don't know if we can find a way to lead way into getting back to our topic, but I did want to address because we said that we would this whole slap down situation. And what I want to be able to say is it's ironic because we're talking about relationships and we're
Yeah.
talking about how things go. And so here we are with a man defending his woman's honor. Okay. And, you know, what say you, Angel? I don't want to skip it. I want to talk about it. I want to say it. And then we can get on back to
Can we
last
go?
week because I just I want to talk about it. I want to know what say you? Hey y'all. Hey everybody. What say you
Um,
about the slap? Was Will right or was he wrong? Was he protected? And I want to hear y'all's opinions in the comments so we can talk about this and be done with it. Um, what was going on? What's going on with Will? I
he
just
was
want to get
wrong because keep your hands to
okay.
yourself.
Okay.
That's just
Okay. Keep your hands to yourself.
use your
Mm-hmm.
words
Mm-hmm.
later.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't the time or the place for that.
Mm-hmm.
And um, you know, emotions make you cry sometimes. Emotion makes you slap sometimes, I guess. But at the same time, you're a whole grown ass adult. Why are you putting your hands on people?
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like he should have definitely. I feel like he should definitely defend his wife. I am not against him defending his wife. However, I did say though that maybe if he just made the commotion like he did, sitting down, just did that, like yelled out, like, "Hey, man!" Like even if we talked about this before, even if we said it before, whatever the case may be, I told you keep my wife's name out your mouth, or just period. I want you to do that. Um, to be quite honest, I don't know if I think the entire thing, honestly, Angel, I thought it was staged. Okay, like that's my honest
That's
opinion.
what I thought. That is
I
exactly
think
what
it's
I thought. I thought it was
staged.
staged.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's
Yeah.
real. Like it cannot be real. Just the way it happened, the way it looked, all the smiling, all the this and the that. I don't feel like it was real. And honestly, I feel like when big things happen like that, when things in the world happen, to me, the first thing that I do is now I'm looking like, okay, why are we giving this distraction?
Exactly.
Because what are we
What
being
are we
kept?
missing?
What are we missing? What are you guys trying to distract us from seeing? What has happened? We already know gas prices are up. We know the food is high. Have you been to the grocery store? Is the food high where you are?
Yeah.
Food is high. Different things are happening. Different places are dropping the American dollar. There's so much happening, and I
Yeah.
think your president got on stage and politely said it's getting ready to be a food shortage, and it's going to be real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there are things that are being said, and he said it, and it just kept moving and pushing. So I think there are things that are happening in the world, and for me, I feel like when something like that happens, um, it seems very suspect. So for me, I just felt like this is not
I
real.
thought it
It
was
can't be
staged
real.
too.
You guys have been in this industry for so long, since I was a kid. Y'all have been here. Y'all know how to conduct yourself. So nothing has got you that out of character to where you're doing
Exactly.
all of that.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, I feel like it was staged. That's how I feel. Let's see what y'all say. Um, says if Chris doesn't joke on Jada, Will doesn't react. Govern what you say, someone is saying. Someone is saying two wrongs never make a right. At the end of the day, we've put so much energy into rich people problems. If anything, no one's talking about how much Black Power was celebrated at the Oscars. Thank you. Nobody even talking about
I mean,
that.
I do
Like
agree with that
we
for
were all up
sure.
in there. Like we was all up in there. But at the end of the day, um, Chaba, that was fake. I don't know. I don't care what nobody says. It was fake. I don't have an opinion about whether he was right or wrong, me either, per se, because I think defense is situational. But my first thought was not in these white folks' house, not in these white folks' house, um,
Chassis.
not in this white folks' house. And I need to heal that. And I need to heal that because why at this big age in 2022 do I need to be worried about how I conduct myself around a certain crowd who makes me want to code switch? No, that's true. Why do we care? Why do we care? Let's handle our business. But at the same time, I just feel like it was fake. Um,
If indeed it was centered around Jada's alopecia, they go on commercial breaks. You could go talk to this man behind stage. It was just inappropriate. He casually hip hopped on that stage. Like,
just
what?
strolled up and
I
just it
mean,
just
just
like
strolled.
and it felt like real tight armed slap. So it looked real like who's slapping and what grown man is around here slapping people? And what
I,
grown man doesn't retaliate? That's first of all.
I mean,
I don't
yeah.
understand. I don't understand.
It,
What I don't
Click on this
understand.
comment. Click on. I
Which
don't.
one?
I agree about this whole mental health
Power this and this
below that
thing.
one. I definitely agree about that. Will has been going through it with Jada since,
Hmm.
and enough. He had enough.
Yeah.
While I don't agree with it, I understand it. Right? Like they're not the same.
They're the same. He has been going through a lot. He has been going
He
through a
just
lot in
he just
regards to
reacted, and that was his natural reaction. Okay,
mhm.
cool.
Mhm.
Let's move on.
let's move on. Let's move on because and I mean, that was that. I just wanted to touch on it. I just want to see. I mean, there's nothing to say. We've done enough. We've talked enough,
We've
and
talked enough.
clearly, we don't care. And it is what it is. But I just thought it was interesting that we left off with commitment, and
Hmm.
then you have this situation happen, and to all the things that they've both been through with each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Um, Regardless of whatever their arrangement is, or
Hmm.
open marriage, or whatever it is. Um, they've made a commitment. It was made very clear that no matter what they said, they are not divorcing. It's been very clear, and people are like, why are you so upset at everybody else? The true person you're upset at is with her. So then, you're really lashing out. But it brings me back to this thing, and how everybody was saying, and even Dan said last week, that when you make this commitment, he said there was nothing his wife could do that would
Right.
have
Unconditional
him
love.
her, or to not love her, or whatever. And
Hmm.
so you take this Will and Jada situation, where they clearly said the same thing. There's nothing the other person can do to have me leave this marriage, to be done with it. However, now, what I was trying to say the last time, and we also did say last time, that sometimes, especially if you make these commitments at a young age, sometimes you commit to the wrong thing when you
Yeah.
don't have all the proper tools, and all
Yeah.
the healing and the growth that you need within yourself to make these commitments. And so then
Hmm.
it brings me to this now. Should you go through where we clearly is seeing Will Smith possibly having a mental breakdown because of what the relationship has come to, her actions and all of this, are we still going to be committed? Do you still hold to this commitment, even though maybe when what you started off with first, what you committed to at first, was you agreed upon it happily, but then now it's messing with your mind, it's messing with your emotions, it's messing with your mental health. How do you say? What do you do?
So I definitely thought about it, and I rewatched the show. I watched the show
Hmm.
again, and I kind of thought in depth about commitment slash unconditional love.
Okay, that's where we are. Thank you.
That's
Mhm.
that's where we are. So you make a choice to love someone unconditionally. You
Mhm.
are saying to
Mhm.
yourself and them again, I don't I don't care what you do. I care what you do. Let me not say I don't care. That's poor
Yeah.
choice of words.
Mhm. Mhm.
Regardless of your behavior,
Mhm.
I'm going to love you through it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And um, when you partner that with commitment,
Mhm.
then you say, and I'm committed to whatever this situation is, this
Mhm.
relationship is, no matter what, I'm committed to it.
Yeah.
So while they coincide and they go hand in hand, I do think you can love someone unconditionally from across the street. You don't have to be in direct relation with them because you
Mhm.
love them unconditionally.
Mhm.
Also, when you're making a commitment to someone, your expectation is that they're returning that commitment to you because it takes
Absolutely.
two people, if or however many in the polygamous situations.
How many
But
is it in there?
we're
Mhm.
talking about man and woman, a two partner relationship. It does take both
Mhm.
people to
Mhm.
agree to be committed. And when things
Mhm.
change, as they will, as they do,
Mhm.
you have to be
Mhm.
committed to the changes.
Mhm. Mhm. You have
You
to.
have to be committed to the growth. You have to be
Mhm.
committed to one person being stagnant. You have to be
Mhm.
committed to all of the pieces of it in order for said commitment to be a forever commitment.
Mhm. Mhm.
My opinion, again, but
Absolutely.
it's going to take both people. One person can't, it is ineffective for one
Mhm.
person in the relationship to have a different level of commitment than the other person has. It's ineffective. It doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
No, none. It
Because
doesn't
now
make
you're
any
in a
sense at all.
relationship, you're in your relationship in your mind by yourself, hoping that the other person is going to jump on your page and say, oh, okay, This is no, that's not how that works.
No, no. So
What you
then
think?
I agree with that. I agree that when we make the commitments, and with the unconditional love and how you can still, I think somebody said it over here, um, that I love people I will never talk to again,
Ever.
ever. And that's fine. And you're not even upset. You're not fighting. You're not mad. It's just, I'm done, but I'm going to love you from afar. And I just think that also when you make commitments, it's true. People change all the time. And so you have to commit to the commitment, I guess. But then what I want to know is when does it become uncommittable? Is that a word? Can I make that up? Can I make that up
Let's
on my
make
own
it.
show?
That's a Bonnie
When is it
word.
uncommittable? When is it, in your opinion, 'cause all of that is good, all of that is fine, but at what point, is it, if it's messing with your mental health, if it's, causing you to be, so stressed that you're sick, like what happened, like at what point though, or is there just never an end point and you just find a way to get through that too?
I think
Or are
that
you staying?
I
Are you
think,
staying, Angel?
no.
So what's
um,
the breaking point for you?
so
If there's one, I
my
get people.
personal breaking point was, um, I don't know who I am anymore. This is taking
Mhm,
complete control over my ability to think and care about me. Then
mhm,
it was it was, I'm going to say it was self-destructive because it was things that I allowed over time to
mhm,
change me in.
mhm,
I agree with Gracie. It is different for different people. I think it's different for different situations. Like,
mhm, mhm.
because now, like where I am now,
Great.
I um I think differently. Well, I'm a healthier person than I was
Mhm,
10
mhm,
months ago.
mhm,
Also,
mhm.
so I'm able to make more sound decisions before committing. I need to figure out what's going on this front end. What's going on in this front end?
In the front end, yeah,
Who am
yeah.
I at my core to match who you are with at your core to even see if it's worth making a commitment to?
Mhm, mhm.
So
Um,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, 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 go ahead.
But yeah, for me, the breaking point was just once it became physically, mentally just draining for me, and
When it starts to drain
I
you.
didn't
When you
know how to, and it wasn't even so much draining. It was, I don't even know what to do. Like at this point, I'm so over there. I don't even know how to pull myself back while I'm still in
Mhm.
this in that situation,
Right,
in that
right.
relationship. So
Mhm,
it was either I was gonna die in it or I
mhm,
had to come
mhm.
out of it. And that's how tumultuous it made me feel inside. Like, oh, my stomach hurts. I
Yeah,
can't
if I'm gonna
sleep. I
die.
can't. I,
Mhm, mhm.
and no, I don't. Oh,
Yeah, I think
I don't
so.
want to say what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Uh-oh. Okay. You free to. I agree. I think once it starts playing on your mental health, your actual health, and got you to a point where you about to catch assaults and things, slapping folks, then I think it is definitely time to take a look, even if it's not a breakup moment, even
Yeah,
if
it may
it's
not be
not
an
a
exit.
it may not be an exit, even sometimes it is an exit, but even if it's not an exit, it's definitely time to take a step back and refigure this whole thing out, right?
Yep.
So I think that's good. And I think I'm glad we touched on the
And what
commitment
say y'all
thing.
in the comments? We look for y'all in the comments.
Yeah,
What
we
y'all say?
do. So somebody said lose sense of self.
You can.
Well, I think Shay is going back to, we said totally agree with the lack of violence. And I said this before, I don't know how I would have reacted. So there's no right or wrong, but it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. Why we can't control other people's mouths, and that's true. You can't control what someone else has to say.
You
It
can't.
says, when we no longer agree on what we're committing to, if you don't discuss and agree on what we're committed to, then we'll be committed to anything. And I think even though you might have started off with a specific commitment, I think because everybody changes, it may be a good idea to have like some check-ins.
Let's
We
revisit
might
that.
need to
Yeah.
we might need to check in and rethink about what it is that we're committed to, and if it's, if we're still on the same page, or if we can get on the same page
Yeah.
with what it is that we're committing to.
Yeah. And if
That's
the
good.
commitment is changed, um, because that can happen also, right?
Hmm, hmm.
If the commitment is changed,
Yeah.
how do we work through that? And are we, let's just be clear.
Let's be clear. And I think, like we said last time, it's gonna start from the beginning. We need to get all of this together from the beginning and know if this is the right person for you, and
Yeah.
if they can commit to, first of all, being willing to work through the multiple changes that we're getting ready to go through over
Listen.
the years. That
Yeah.
can you commit to that first?
Correct.
Okay, that you're going to be willing to work on yourself and work through whatever it is the two of us got going on, because anybody got this kind of time for no breakup and makeup. And what girl, like, women don't, I know me personally, I don't want to have to go through starting over. You gotta reshare secrets,
Oh,
and
child.
find somebody new you gotta tell your secrets to, and learn to trust again, and figure
It's
out
too
what's your
much.
favorite color, and this. Nobody wants to do that. So can you
I
know
don't
who it
even
is that
have a
you
favorite
want?
color no more. I'm just
I don't
like,
even know, and that's what I need
I
to.
don't
I need
even
to
know what it is.
reevaluate. What is my favorite color? And my children ask me that all the time. Mommy, what's your favorite color? All this. What's your three favorite colors? They want to know. And I'm like,
I like all the colors.
I like them all.
I
Give me
like
the
all the
rainbow.
colors.
Like, I don't know.
Let
So
me
we definitely have to reevaluate.
let me ask
What were
this
we gonna
question
say?
because we were
I
talking
love
about the
you too.
beginning. Let's
Yes,
go
let's
back
talk
to the
about that.
beginning. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, boy meets girl. We're vibing.
Uh-huh.
We're putting forth these representatives
Uh-huh.
to evaluate. Hey, should we see if we can date, or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
case is? My
Mm-hmm.
question is, what's the purpose of the representative if everybody's trying to figure out what is real? What's the
Wait,
point?
wait, I just want to know what the representative is. Wait, can we break that down? What do you mean by this?
So everybody puts on their best face, their best
Oh,
behavior,
their best behavior, instead of just giving who they are all up front. What's the
because
point
that's
in that person?
exhausting. It's taxing. It's taxing. Um, and then you have to
Mhm.
remember who you were yesterday to try to keep up with who that was yesterday, and then I really want the answer, or somebody to tell me something about what is the purpose in putting forth this person when that's not who you are. That is exhausting. But why? Right, you do meet the representative, but why? What's the point?
Somebody said, "Girl."
I don't get it. Somebody help me.
So I don't like the representative. I don't like that at all. I don't
Trash.
like it. I don't want to even. But isn't even the representative part of us though? Is that not a part of us, the representative?
Could be.
Where do you find them from? If it's not, because I believe that there's so many sides to us. We have
It's
so many
called
sides.
manipulation.
We all have manipulation in us, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm not
It ain't.
saying that we
It
should
could
be this
be,
way.
but
We live in a life of duality. There are so many sides to all of, right? And I think a part of it, again, I'm not saying that the representative is the best way, because we're finding out now, right now in this moment, that we need to just be ourselves 100% from the beginning. But I
yeah,
think the representative has to come in, because it's almost like doing a check first. You got to check them out first. You got to see. It's almost like, I can't give you all of me. Again, I do not agree with this, because I believe in just going in full out. I'll tell you what I feel. But I think sometimes the representative is this block, is this wall, is this, let me see what this is about first before I can let you see me. And it is very manipulative because you're going to put on what you think somebody wants to like or what they'll like in order to get them and to win them.
Terrible.
And once they got you, then they have to live with the everyday person because we're the
And then they have
representative.
to
That's
learn
who
that
I fell in
person
love with.
though. I gotta
And then now
learn
you're
your real person because I felt in lust with your representative. Even if it's not, even if you haven't been in some type of physical communal, you're still, because you don't know them. You don't know them. You don't know who they are.
yeah, you don't know who they are. It says you meet them because everyone is afraid to reveal themselves. But why are we afraid? What are we afraid of?
The
What are
problem
we
with that
afraid of?
though,
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Afraid to reveal yourself, but now you're showing me something different. So you can be shielded and still be who you authentically are. In me, that's what I think. So don't give
Yeah,
me this really sweet person and really attentive person, because to me, that's manipulation and it's
it
trash.
is.
Because if that's
It
not
is.
something that you intend to keep up,
Yeah, I saw something that said, "Don't introduce me to a vibe that you can't
that was
maintain.
what that was me. You know, it was me.
Do not
Don't do
introduce
that.
me to a vibe that you cannot maintain." Now you done showed up with this representative, and I need you to go and get him. I need you to go and get him. I need you to find him because you introduced me to something that I fell in love with and that I
Tell the
thought I was
people how to
gonna
call
get.
in, Ken. Tell the people how to call in.
How call in? Okay. Um, I'm off my duties. Give me
They
just a second.
they finna be mad at me.
Let
I'm sorry,
me
y'all. Don't be mad at me. I'm just a little
let me.
sensitive.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm posting it. It's on the front page, y'all. Oh shoot. This on the front page. There's a link. I just posted it. So you have to leave the live and go to Conversations page, and it's the very last post. It's a it's there to go live for tonight. So
Thanks,
if
Gracie
you can
Pooh.
find it. Um, let's see here. Okay, everyone is saying, let me go.
Girl,
So
they
this
talk.
says, you're going to get what you get with me from day one. Take it or leave it. And
Listen,
that's what we
that's
need.
it.
And I think time brings that. I think when you get to a certain place where you have done the inner work and you've done the healing and you're okay with yourself and you're confident in yourself, then you don't feel the need to go to manipulate anything because you're sure
Mm-mm.
in who you are. You're sure, like, I'm good. I did the work. I know who I am. I'm ready. You're not gonna get a half-healed experience with me.
Nope.
So I'm getting ready to give you this, and either you
Mm-hmm.
can take it or you can leave
You
it.
can leave
It's
it.
gonna be one of those, but it ain't gonna be.
And when
Mhm.
you're ready to leave it, just leave it. Don't
Just leave
drag this
it.
old foolishness. Don't sit there and say, "Oh, but we gotta figure." Just go and
Just
be.
go.
You can be nice about it. You can be very
Mhm.
cordial because that's what adults should do. They should know how to communicate effectively.
Mhm. They should.
But
They should.
um,
Some
just
people think that.
go.
Just go if it's not good. Some people think the representative gets you the sexual activity quicker, and that be that too. They thinking they finna jump in this bed real fast, and y'all not getting ready to do all of that. You're not getting ready
No,
to jump in this bed,
no.
okay? That's what we're not getting ready to do.
No, and I'm guilty of all of them, right? Like I've done them
Right.
all. I've
Mm-hmm.
manipulated them how I want them to go. I've been a chameleon, changing per whatever. I've done them all. And what I've come to realize is that none of that's beneficial because you don't know who you're getting. Like
Yeah.
you have
You don't
no,
know.
come on, get out of Bible study early. Hello.
Come on.
Thank you
Wait, did I
for
lose
joining.
it? Hey, ladies, I got out of Bible study early enough to come on, girl. Come on in, girl. Um, Yeah, it's there. Do y'all see the link? I think Grace just posted it again for me. Didn't do nothing you want. Don't do nothing you won't keep doing
Period.
throughout the relationship. Period.
Period.
There, don't do that. Don't do
Don't
that because it
start
makes
it
no.
because it's just rude. First of all, it's rude. It's rude. Um, I don't know how else to put that other than it's rude and it's
Oh,
manipulative.
and she
And this,
says, and for the love of God, stop looking for closure in order to walk.
please.
And so I'm done. Good night, everybody. I mean that's it. It concludes the show for
I'm
me
out
because
of
that's what it
here.
be. Like people be looking for. Bottom line is you're not gonna get it because it's not there. Just be okay with what you're not gonna get from the situation and keep it moving.
And keep it
Like
pushing.
don't do that to yourself. Don't do
Keep
that.
it pushing out of
This
here.
is good. I do have so we can go to our questions then, okay? Because you mentioned the first thing and the vibes. And if y'all have questions in here, bring them up. But we have someone here. Do you want to bring in someone?
Come
Let's
on,
bring in.
someone.
It's Tim.
It's
Hi,
Tim.
Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Ladies, what's good? How you?
What's good?
We're
Good,
good.
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 What you gotta say?
Was that you saying, how do I call in?
No, that wasn't me.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
okay. But you had something you wanted to add.
Yeah, I mean, y'all were talking about like the representation of a person. When does the real person show up?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the real person should just show up immediately. I think in this day and age, do we really have time to waste on representation? We really don't have time for that. At the end of the day, I want to know exactly who I'm gonna be with. Now, it's not saying that you shouldn't be guarded in conversations when it comes to certain subjects, certain topics, and things like that. But if I'm a man and I'm loving and I'm giving and I'm sweet and all these other things on the first date, keep up with that the second date, the third date. Be consistent in who you are so that a person is not falling in love with a misrepresentation of you, and then you turn around and then or that person turns around and they see, wow, they totally misrepresented themselves. You know what I'm saying? And now we're constantly evolving and changing day in and day out, so you got to give people a little bit of leeway so that you can see their evolution.
Right.
But the core of who they are should be the same. And if it's not, and they misrepresented themselves, then you got a decision to make.
Absolutely.
You have to make it quick and stop, like they said, hanging on and looking around and hoping that I can get that back because they gave it to me once. So I know if I can get it back. No, that was the representation. You're not getting it back.
Now, let me add. Can I add something?
Please add, please.
So let's say something big happens in life, like you're in this beginning stage and something either very traumatic or something that just kind of shifts everything happens. If that is the case, because it's life, we're adults, we're human, communicate to whomever this is that you're getting to know, hey, I have these things going on and I got a lot of stuff going on. Bear with me. So either we can pick this up later or you can bear with me through it, but this is what I'm presenting to you. Just keep kind of, we always talk about communication, and I don't think people are really clear on what that is all the time because they just think talking to someone is communicating with them. No, you have to let them in at some point to say, even if it's not you getting completely naked and saying, these are all of the parts of me, but enough for them to know and make a sound decision to proceed or not. What do you think? What do you think?
Tim, what do you think?
I mean, I agree. I totally agree wholeheartedly. I want to hear from you, Candace. What do you think?
That about you have to fully let someone in? I totally agree 100%. And I'm not just like the yes man tonight, but I agree. Literally and seriously. You cannot go in waiting for the perfect moment to be vulnerable or the perfect moment to be open and to give your all and to be so heartfelt. You cannot wait for the perfect moment. The moment that you agreed to the date is the moment, and to say, okay, I'm going to give fully everything, that was your yes then. I feel like the moment that you decide this person is worth my time, because you know from jump if a person is worth your time. You know immediately if this is somebody I want to be bothered with.
Because
Because
you've done
for
some
me,
research on them prior to you
you
even
have done
accepting a date.
research, you may have chit chat a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the vibe, the energy, you're gonna feel all of that. And I just feel like you're gonna know. So the moment that you commit to that date, like, yes, I'm gonna go on the date, it's the moment that's your yes right there. That's your yes to say, I'm going to give it all, and so I can see what happens. Because how can you truly see what's going to happen? How can you truly see if it's going to, or if it could have been worked out, or if you should have walked away? If both people are not giving 100% at the dough. Like, you
Absolutely.
got to do that from jump. You go in it, bearing your soul. Like, you cannot be afraid, no holding back. I mean, you know, you have some, no, you want to see, but what are you holding back for? Give it all. And if it just doesn't work, then let it go then, you know, but that's how I feel. That's my
I'm,
opinion. I'm going to give it all
I'm gonna
100%.
throw a scenario out there too. I'm gonna throw a scenario.
Okay.
You mind if I do
Can
that?
I add it? Can I add Nedra in here too? So she's not waiting, but you can go
Nettie,
ahead and give your scenario, please.
Nedra was good.
Hi, Nedra.
Can y'all hear me?
lady. Yes,
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can
ma'am.
what's
hear you.
good? How you
He's getting
feeling?
ready to give a scenario. Tim is getting ready to give a scenario, but I just
I
didn't
could
want to.
hardly hear y'all, but you said I'm getting a scenario?
Yes,
We
Tim
all
Tim
is going to
is.
give
I'm about
us
to throw
one.
I'm about
Oh,
to throw a
okay.
scenario out here for you ladies, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So we talking about like a total representation of yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that go out on a date with you ladies go out on a date with a man. You vibing with him, you like him, you kicking it with him, and let's just say the second or third date, he is gonna be a representation of himself and say, "Listen, I like you." And this is just it might be a more extreme type of scenario, but it's a realistic one that could come up. And the dude may come up and just say, "Yo, I'm really feeling you. I'm feeling you enough to tell you I got herpes." What you gonna do in that situation? Even though you asked for the honesty, you asked for the representation of who he is, what you do?
I'm laughing at y'all's faces. I'm not laughing
I
at
told you it
that.
was extreme, but
I'm laughing at y'all's faces because Nedra
for
popped
real
up and
talk,
Candace
that's
was
something
like,
that
what?
I
Oh
I would
no.
just be the real me and say, I appreciate your honesty, but we're gonna have to part ways.
Yeah. Where you at
On
with your
any other way to
medication?
word that.
Uh,
And
I
let's
know,
just be real. Is this gonna be a relationship that you are looking for, long term and for it to be intimate? If so, we have to part ways.
that's your
Yeah,
choice.
now was you looking for a friend? We could talk on the phone every now and again, and maybe every now and again you might, we might go to the movies or theater.
something
Is that
better.
what kind of friend are you like? What kind of situation are you looking for here? Because it's not gonna go past that. I'm sorry, and I would thank him. I would try to make him not feel bad. I would try to be like, you know, thank you for being honest, because you didn't have to be honest.
Exactly. Yeah.
You could have led me on. And then, so I would thank him so much, and sometimes, how they say the honesty is like, people be like, man, you a real one because your honesty and all that. Like, I F with you because of your honesty. Well, now listen now. I appreciate your honesty, but that's gonna be about as far as he gonna get to go, because somebody said it here, herpes is a lifetime sentence. Hey, cuzzo, it's a lifetime sentence. I'm not gonna be able to do that, but good luck. Good luck. And I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you. We'll be, that sort of thing. No, I ain't gonna be able to do that. I'm not gonna be able to do that. No.
Yeah.
That's actually why I logged in to say I got overwhelmed trying to type everything about the representative, but
Oh, mhm.
Angel, I don't remember your question on Instagram and why I even said that. But in the dating world, or the world of meeting people, not just dating, you always meet the representative. And it's not always a negative thing. Sometimes you are going to meet that individual who, I'm just going to bring the person of assessing whether or not I even want to get to know you further. It's not saying I'm going to just divulge all of me and all of who I am right away, but let me just bring forth my communicating Nedra, like my question Nedra. I'm not going to bring forth the party Nedra or the scientific Nedra. I'm not going to talk about careers or all of these other things. Let's see if I even want you to know those things about me.
But see, sis,
I don't even have a problem with that so much. Not in the extreme beginning, because your personality and your core have nothing to do with some of those things, right? Like,
exactly
what you can do. Okay, because that's not who I want to get to know anyway. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you have. I care about who you are. Who are you? That's my mantra for the rest of forever. Who are you inside? Like, strip
but
all
what
your
if
stuff
who
away.
They are is their business?
Then I don't want to be bothered. Me personally, I don't want to be bothered. Because you strip all of that stuff away.
Okay, because can I give an example? Because who I am is very artsy, very creative, very this, very that. That's who I am, but that's also my business. Like, that's also what makes me money. And so I wouldn't want somebody to not be interested if they're getting that from me too. Like if they're like, well, what do you like to do? And I'm like, this is what I like to do,
But knowing who you are, though, at your core, all of those things are a part of who you are at your core. Like, the way you love, the way you feel about people, the way you communicate, like, all of those things are who you actually are. Like, if you can't use your hands anymore to do hair, to make shot glasses, to do anything, if you lost your hands, shout out to the shot glasses and the mugs. But if you were unable to do that, who you are at your core is still artsy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's still who I am at my core. You're right.
It's who you are inside. It helps that you're crafty, but yeah.
I find that people, when you don't bring a representative, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes people are more interested in what they think about you versus who you actually are.
That's the truth.
Like, people are, I used to find that in dating, when I lead with, oh, what do you do? I'm a food scientist. The whole date turns into asking me questions about food science. Like, not asking me who I am or trying to get to know me.
What questions would you like to have asked? And sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
Like, what would you want them to ask you?
I would prefer those normal questions, like, oh, what do you do in your spare time? What do you like to read? What do you like to do? All of the things that are unrelated to, I just got off work to meet you at this happy hour. I don't want to talk about that,
Yeah.
Let's talk about other things. Can you swim? I don't know. I'm a talker, though, and I'm a communicator, so I can lead the conversation. I'll go ahead and do that, and I can lead it to the point where you won't even get to ask me what I do. And sometimes it's okay to reveal that, and sometimes it's not, because the people become more interested in what they think of you versus who you actually are. And then, instead of trying to get to know you, they're trying to get to know about you. And it's two totally different things. Like, oh, I know Nedra because I know what she looks like on paper. I might as well have given you my resume. And then we just go ahead and part ways, because are you interested in, like, me on paper, or do you care about if I'm emotional, if I'm fun, all of those different things?
You know what I tend to notice that kind of helps. I don't know.
Mm.
Have you seen some of those games, like those games where like they're like conversational starters and things like that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm,
I think
mm-hmm.
that's like mad dope to like even take out on a date because it's like a lot of times we don't know how to have conversations on dates. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times there's an expectation that just because we agree to go on a date that we just know automatically what to talk about, not even remembering the fact that that other person on the other side looking at you might be nervous, spitting sweat out, like they're trying to find ways to connect with you, but they may not know how to. This is a
Mm-hmm.
brand new stranger, somebody that you've never met before. So
Yeah.
I think that we definitely need to be able to find different ways to start conversations in this day and age. We've just spent 2 years in the house
We
on
need to
Zooms
figure it
and things
out.
like that. You know what I'm saying? But
But
with
you
those
would
Yeah.
dates
think
that
in
we
all of
currently
that time we would have been learning how to communicate. We couldn't go nowhere. Like you should
So
have
we
really
should
been
know how
working.
to
No, you
yeah.
know
communicate.
what people were learning how to do? People were learning how to catfish the show.
Oh,
You know,
that's
they were learning
Yep.
how
awful.
to fake it till they make it. You know, if you look at all the PPP loan stuff that they gonna have to sort through,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
all of
Oh.
the fake accounts, and people found time to do everything but become naked.
Yeah.
You know, really deal with all the things that are you.
Yeah.
People will continue to shy away from that, and that is why relationships don't work.
Yeah.
um because
Can I
you
ask you? Oh, I'm sorry. Can I ask you this question? Like, even if they're asking you all the right questions, would those answers still be coming from your representative? So, if they're asking the right questions, are you going to be open and vulnerable and give the actual answers?
I am 1000%, and that
Me
is why
too.
I have to be extremely cautious. Because I am always going to be just 1000% honest and upfront, and that is that's hard on myself when sorting through who is actually trying to get to know me. And I'll just be honest, I've probably gone on that, you know, that movie 50 First Dates.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that. I've done that.
Really?
And a lot of times when they ask questions and I am honest, I ask them the same questions. And if you can't answer the same way, then we aren't a match.
That's good.
True.
Yes, that is.
She's
That is so
tired.
good. I
Hey,
just
sound good to me.
it's it sound good. I just wish, everybody was on the same page.
You just wish
And
everybody would just be honest, be
it ain't never, it's
vulnerable.
not gonna happen.
I
Yeah.
used to put up a status every day, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, that said vulnerability is the new success. So when you have the ability to be vulnerable, you could be
Mhm,
successful at almost anything, whether
mhm.
it's dating or just learning from your own mistakes. You know, if I can be vulnerable in this and know that I'm not the master at this, then I can become this, whatever it is that you are trying to become.
Yeah. I want to read this one. It says some of us haven't done the work on ourselves to even know that we are misrepresenting someone we are not, or that we
That's
Yeah.
the whole truth.
we haven't
That's
done
Well,
the
the
work
answer.
to
I
even
think
know.
that's crazy because a
Y'all
lot of
talked
We don't even
about Will
know.
Smith earlier. He's a prime example of that. He's actually what, a 50-year-old man learning who he is by default,
By default.
because
you know
his
what.
wife is kind of forcing him into that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Mm-hmm.
forcing him to learn who he is because she knows who she is and what she wants, so she forces that on him. And he's committed to that. He's committed to loving her. But like we said last week, he hasn't revisited, he hasn't recommitted. He is still committed to the very person he thought he met, you know, 20 years ago. And unfortunately, he's one of those people that I was talking about that will commit to anything, Right now, he's on is a merry-go-round for him. He's
It sure
learning who
is.
he is.
It sure is.
What were you
Were you
gonna
gonna
say,
say
Tim?
something, Tim? Oh, it does. Thank you, co-host.
Nah, Nedra, right?
Nedra.
Mhm.
I agree wholeheartedly, especially about Will. He's gone through a lot, but I think he also illuminated something that's like big for a lot of us, especially black men, is that we really are just children in adult bodies. I mean, there's a lot of childhood wounds, childhood traumas that we have not we have not identified or even been brave or courageous enough to identify. And like you said,
Mhm.
vulnerability is definitely the new success. You have to be able to be vulnerable with yourself before you can sit at a table and be vulnerable with someone else about your struggles, about your past childhood traumas. These are things that you want to know from a person to understand, like, listen, I'm not impressed with the successful part of you or the things that you've accomplished. I want to
Mhm.
know what makes you a human being at the end of the day. And what
Yeah.
makes you a human being is, listen, I've had this struggle. Listen, I've been as a, it could be a woman, and it could be something as like, hey, I've been assaulted. That's real. That's real stuff that
Mhm.
happens. Or as a man,
Mhm.
hey, I was abused, or my dad left. These are things that we got to talk about. And Will, people didn't even know that Will's dad was abusive towards his mom, and then felt as though he needed to overcompensate for his wife the other night in that situation, because
Mhm.
he just felt helpless growing up. I'm from Philly. I know Willie from Philly. So
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
understand that he's definitely trying to find himself, and he's been doing that through his book and stuff. And I think it's courageous of him, but he did take a stop at what he was doing. We got to keep going to heal, and we got to
Yeah.
keep going to be able to if we want to date and get in relationships and commit to yourself first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we wanna know what the ugly part of if you are
Show me up
successful.
front.
I need to see.
What
I
I
was
need
the
to
need to see
ugly
see.
parts
ugly.
of becoming successful? What were the
Mhm.
ugly parts of deciding that you want to be an artist? What's the ugly side to saying, this is me now, but I had some ugly parts,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
still do.
I was
You
gonna
And
say, and
still do.
gonna have some more.
And
know?
gonna have more. I want to read this comment. It says, by showing your real self, you take the risk that your partner might not like the real you. Vulnerability comes with dating. If it doesn't work, on to the next one with your dignity intact. I
Absolutely.
agree.
And
Absolutely.
stop having sex
And
immediately. Don't do that
stop doing
because
that.
it snatches away the ability to be the real you.
Yeah, because that's the wrong vulnerable side of
That's
you.
the wrong
Yeah.
side now. You don't
Facts.
want to be all like that at
Yeah, because
first.
then you put them glasses back on, the rose-colored glasses, and then you don't see stuff like you need to be able to see it because that was some good.
Yeah. And let
And
me
now
let
you're
me add
blinded.
let me add something to that, fellas. If you listening, listen to the ladies. It's true. Like, take sex out of the equation, man. Real talk. Like, you learn
Mhm.
so much about yourself, and you learn so much about the woman. It's like super crazy, because what we tend to see is that outside of sex, we not offering. Nobody offers anything these days
Nothing.
outside of sex. So take it out the
Mhm.
equation and see
Mhm.
exactly what that person is offering you, and see if their vulnerability matches up with yours.
I swear, half of the people that people have slept with, they would be so embarrassed to sleep with again had they known that person.
Guilty.
It's some people out there probably slept with, and you just bow your head if you see them in public and walk on past, you know? And that's what it
Mhm.
should be like. But
Yeah.
that's why I take the representative, and I'm not being funny, but let me take the representative, because if you see me in public, you gonna only know what I want you to know, unless I want to become vulnerable with you, and I want you to know me intimately, and I want you to know all of these things of me. Other than that, you know my representative. the skeletal part of me.
So you're saying you're going straight into it as your representative. You're not going vulnerable at all.
I still don't think it's a
I'm
representative though.
That's what I said. I think it's all you. I think it's all pieces of you, and for whatever reason,
You're
and
shielding
sometimes,
things, but it's
yeah,
still
you're
you.
shielding. Yeah, sometimes the representative is shielding, and sometimes it's being manipulative. But
Yeah.
if
I'm
you're
not
just
going in catfishing, but I'm just saying I am going in with a few rules.
right, but can I ask a question? If you are going in with your representative as a defense mechanism to protect yourself until you know that this person is worthy of having the vulnerable side of you, what I would like to know is how do you know they're worthy of that? Because who they gave you was based upon the representative that you gave them. So how do we know that they're not just responding in that, and really it's not who they are? Everybody's being a representative because everybody is only responding based on the information that they've been given. And it's like, wait a minute, I gave you this because ooh, I like this, so I'm giving this. But then
Yeah.
now later they have to wait until the vulnerable side come out. It's like, now wait
Yeah.
a minute, okay? And then now you can, well, I was just trying to wait and see. No. You can't. So I just want to know, how does that work? You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
how do you know what you're getting to be vulnerable to? They're not just responding to the defenses that you've put up for them, you know?
So remember I said that the
Does that make sense?
representative is the representative is not always a fraud. And the representative do have questions, and the representative does have rules.
Okay.
So just because I am my representative, if I were to send you out as my secretary, I have given you a set of rules of, what information I need. It doesn't mean that I'm going to answer these questions falsely, or that I'm not going to be vulnerable when answering your questions, but I am going to be guarded in knowing what questions you asked. I'm going to make a mental note of how you asked, how you respond. I'm going to ask you the same questions, and I'm going to make sure that if you didn't answer the same way, there's a disconnect. If you weren't vulnerable, as I was when we asked these types of questions, then there's a disconnect. I know there's a disconnect somewhere. So there's no way for me to continue because we're already disconnected in just the beginning phase.
Let me challenge you on that real quick, Netra.
Okay.
Real quick. I agree with you, real talk.
Yeah.
But I also would ask, what about giving that person a space? Because if you're saying early on that they're not giving that vulnerability to you, we're not being fair to the other person if we're not allowing them a space to be vulnerable or not be vulnerable in that particular moment. We don't know what their past is like. That's why we do date. That's why if you don't get that type of information on the first date, second date, or third date, but you like certain things about that person, we could give it a couple of months, a few months, because you're still vibing with that person well. If you're vibing well enough to get some things out of them, but maybe not exactly the full representation of who they are, the full vulnerability, but we can still, it'd be one thing if they're not giving anything. Then it's like, listen, there's a total disconnect here.
Yeah,
but if there's certain things, we don't want to necessarily hold them, hostage to the fact that, oh, they didn't give it to us on this date, or they didn't give it to us on this date or in this conversation. Let's go ahead and give them a little bit of space and grace in order to grow into the relationship that you may want with that person.
Yeah.
One of my favorite questions and number one questions before even going on a date, before I even know if I even want to go on a date, is, are you timid? Are you shy? Because I know that I can't deal with that. I know that
I'm admit that if he likes you though. See, he might misrepresent himself because he likes you.
Like, no, I ain't timid. Ain't nothing shy about me. Like,
and be sweating, just answer.
But that lets me know if I go out on a date with you and we can't have a conversation longer than 15 minutes, we can't hang out.
Absolutely. And that's your choice and that's your right. If he's shy and timid and you can't rock with someone that you can't hold a conversation with, that's your choice and right to not deal with it, even if he likes you or not.
Absolutely. That is your right and that is your choice. And you should be booking stage left. And I think what happens a lot of time, and I am guilty of, is sticking around a little longer because there
Yep.
may be potential and there
I
may
had
be,
to learn
instead
that.
of going with the first thing was like, I don't like that. So 9 out of 10 times you're gonna get more of that thing you don't like, and it's bothering you. Why do we need 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 red flags or signs before we say it's not gonna work? It's just not enough. You know what I mean? Or I don't vibe with that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we have to, this is a part of the knowing up front sort of
And it
thing.
ain't
And
their fault.
it ain't their fault. I wanted to know, Tim, did you answer the are you being vulnerable up front deal? And we want to know if somebody came out and said if you really like them and they came out and said, I just want to let you know if I got herpes, what are you gonna do? 2 questions. What are you gonna do? Get your
So-
answer.
What are you gonna do?
To that question, if a woman said, hey, I got herpes, I'm gonna be like, hey, I appreciate you being honest with me, keeping it 100 with me, but I'm had to end this date and keep it a little short tonight. Still buy you dinner or drinks or whatever we at in the stage, but she wouldn't get a second date.
She wouldn't get a second date. Okay.
But also I wouldn't. I mean, I would appreciate it, and it is a lifetime sentence. I mean, as Adrian mentioned earlier, this is a lifetime sentence. So I just would hope that she would find somebody that can accept it, because it's not, even though it's a lifetime sentence, you still deserve love in the situation. Just
love. And I think there's a way to have love. They figured this out with medications and things of how you can set it up to be able to do it. I just would hate for it to be a night you miss that one dose and then Lord, it's on me. And I can't risk it. It's on me and you done missed it. No, I'm so sorry.
Look at what Adrian said. He said, let's be real. Many of us were turned up when we had one night stands. And but you know the difference though. Is it just me?
I've never had a one night stand. Not that anybody has to tell their business here. I'm just saying I've never had one, so I don't know. I can't relate.
Nedra, you're on mute.
Oh, my mic was muted. Sorry, because the baby right here. I have always been shied away from the bedroom when it comes to dating first, and that's just natural for me. So no, I don't really do those types of things.
I'm not doing that.
I'm a pretty
Jossie,
monogamous dude, so I'm not doing it. So nah, I'm cool.
Yeah. I'll put her comment up here. I still want you to answer yours. We're at our time, but I still want Tim to answer.
I don't even remember what was the question.
The last one was: are you giving 100% upfront? Are you showing up with the representative?
Oh, I'm keeping it a buck up front, like
up front,
because at the end of the day, you're gonna accept me for who I am or not, and it's that simple. Once again, we're not wasting time here in 2022. If you don't like
time,
we're not wasting time. So if you, I'm gonna give you this entire package up front. I'm not gonna give you every single thing. I'm guarded in certain conversations.
He said this entire package. I'm like, now wait a minute, Tim. We just said no. Okay,
there's certain things. I'm not gonna talk about every single thing on a first date, but
okay.
But you're not gonna get I'm not gonna ever misrepresent myself. Period.
No, Tim is very upfront. I will say that. So I can say, knowing Tim is upfront. He gonna just put it out. But I do want to do this one last comment, and I'm gonna let you all go. It says, do we communicate with them when we see that first thing I don't vibe with, to see if they will also be able to communicate effectively to set the foundation for growth on the concern, or do we just be done once we see that thing that we don't like? Do we just be done, or do we try to reason with them?
I think it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Because what you don't want somebody to do is change themselves to fit your mold. Like you can say, hey, I didn't really like XYZ. It didn't make me comfortable, or it was off from what I know you to be. I'm just making you aware of it, just so you know. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't really like it. Now, you can either do that, or you can just, hi, pretty baby. you can either do that or be observant to see how it's going to evolve or dissolve, because you just don't want somebody to change or do things away because you want them to do it and it's not their natural thing. It's not natural to them.
Yeah,
that's me. Somebody else can talk.
Yeah, that's yeah, I would agree too. I would agree. I don't know if you want to have like a 3 strikes you out rule or something. I don't know how long you want to let it go. I mean, that's going to be like depending on you, but depending on what it is, I just might be, maybe it's okay. Maybe look at me. I was ready to throw them out with the trash so quick. You out of here. But maybe it's something you can talk about. Like, is this how you are, or was that just,
unless it's something that's just like a deal breaker, right?
Yeah, if it's a deal breaker,
then you probably should just, if it's a deal breaker type. This is dumb.
Adrian, give it up front. I think he meant like being vulnerable up front.
Yeah, deal breakers don't compromise on deal breakers, because then you'll lose yourself.
No, you definitely will.
I'm walking away.
Nedra says she's out of here. Nedra says she's out. She's not.
Let me tell you something about Nedra. I don't even know you, but I can already tell you don't play, yo. You know exactly what's going on. So, and I fully get it. I think, but I also think like it just depends. Like, are you really pursuing that person? So if you're truly pursuing them, then you don't see something you like in that situation, then figure out if this is something that you're gonna go through. I think one thing we need to start doing, and I know I probably mentioned this before, Candace, is like making sure like we should sit down and say, what are some things that are great in a relationship? What are some things that you truly want? What are some things that you can compromise to deal with? And then what are your deal breakers? And you identify those things. When you identify them and you can point them out as soon as the date is there, and you can say, oh, that's my deal breaker. Only you know what it is. So you can say, oh yeah, I'm not dealing with that. Hey, it's been a good night. I wish you well. I don't wish you good. I don't wish you bad. I just wish whatever you deserve. And you just
yeah. And this question is saying that. So what's a deal breaker? And I think the deal breaker is, according to you, and and what you can handle and what you can't handle. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like herpes, it's a deal breaker for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want the peas. Okay. I don't want the peas. So it's a deal breaker. So for me, we all have them, that one thing or that those few things that are just like, I ain't gonna be able to.
That's not gonna work for me. Yeah,
it's just not gonna work, and there's no. I'm not compromising on it. And a lot of times, I know since I've grown and I've healed and I've done the work, I've gotten. It's not a whole list of them, but I've definitely identified some deal breakers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that I before was just like compromising on and just wondering why I'm somewhere, drained and tired and overworked and all of that. It's because you're compromising on your deal breakers. It doesn't work for you, and you have to be okay with that and know how to, know when to hold them and know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. Okay, I ain't gonna do all that, but
run.
I have those just because I feel like over the years so much time was wasted that I have been able to identify right away, whether it's an interview that I'm doing of somebody at work or whether it's a first date, things that friends do in a friendship. I will end a 5-year relationship. I will end a 10-year relationship, 1 year, whatever. Don't matter the relationship status. If I feel like I need to walk away, I will walk away.
And that's so good. And congratulations for you, because that's hard. I know it has been a hard thing for me in my life and on my journey. And
me too. That's why I don't have a middle ground, Candace. I don't have a middle ground. The old me would have just take it all, put up with it, deal with it. The new me, I'm so on the other extreme. Like, hell no, I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm not gonna be able to deal with it. Whew, okay, you guys. I don't want us to go over too much, but this was so good. It's always so good, right, y'all? It's always so good. Thank you, Tim and Nedra, for joining us.
Yeah,
I feel
'cause
like we have
I-
definitely gotten. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
We're still
no, I
scratching the
just said I can't
surface.
type fast enough.
In these things, that's why I got to remember to thank y'all for reminding me. I always got to remember to put the links so that you guys can come on and join us and stuff. I think we are still scratching the surface, and I would love to continue to scratch it some more and really get into it, you guys. This is good. This is so good. Okay, I think I read all the comments.
Last one from Justy.
Oh, sorry. Because I have just been the one to chuck the deuces, but I feel like effective communication would be more mature learning on this journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can, I literally was just having a conversation today, and what did she say? Sometimes, I'm not going to say it right, but sometimes there's no talking somebody down when they are who they are. There's no talking them down. They've come to do what exactly and be who exactly they are, and there's no trying to talk them out of it. So I think sometimes what we also need to be sure is that, are we communicating? Are we talking through this to really try to get an understanding? Are we trying to change people's minds because we really like them? And are we trying to get them to see, like, see, maybe if you can change just a little bit, then it's going to work for me? Are we like, we need to make sure too what we're doing. You know, look at all these sweet babies.
I love these little faces.
Oh my gosh, these
Hello.
faces.
Hello, little
How sweet.
faces. Oh my girl.
She watching what she watching on television. It looks like I ain't got time to be communicating with y'all. So yeah, just I would say if that's the route going, be sure that you're communicating to just get better understanding and some better clarity about what decision you're going to make, and not to try to change the situation, talk it into what you want it to be because you like it so much and you don't want to have to walk away. So yeah, that's what I would like to say. Okay, great show, you guys. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I really, really appreciate it. And Angel, we're going to continue this, and whoever else wants to call in, it's so great. I'm all for it. And y'all, I really struggled through getting here tonight. I really did. I struggled through it. I was just like, I'm not gonna be able to do it. I had to put my glasses on, like, okay, well, maybe this will help me, give me a little power, you know, so I can see a little better. Some of you, have you ever been so tired you just can't see? Like, please.
Yeah.
So, but thank you. This was so good, and it kind of gave me a little bit of energy because I'm gonna need it, you know. So there's that. Okay. Does anybody have anything to say before we go? Nothing.
Stop manipulating people.
Stop manipulative. You can't be manipulative. I can't be. Don't manipulative people. I don't like it. It's not good. And show up as yourself. Be vulnerable. It's okay. Unless you're trying to test the waters or something. I don't know.
I mean, but
Okay.
even if you're doing that, stop manipulating people.
Stop manipulating people. We don't like it. Okay, you guys. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next week on another episode. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.